Okay, this is going to be a different type of video than what I'm usually been doing, which are reactions to songs. This is going to be a review of two things. It's going to be a review of Jinjer's new album, Macro, and the concert I just saw on Sunday night in St. Paul. Um, I think I'm going to do the album first just because I have more to talk about with the concert, I guess, because I got VIP for that. So that was quite the experience. But the new album is only 9 songs, but um, and one of them is like a reprise of Perennial, but I guess I can't complain because Perennial is my favorite song by Jinjer. Um, but yeah, it's on the top. Pit of Consciousness, Judgment, and Punishment. Um, those are all like Pit of Consciousness is pretty crazy, pretty brutal. I'm sure people have heard On the Top and Judgment and Punishment because those are the singles. Retrospection is awesome. That's one of my favorite songs off the album. It starts off with this really pretty melody by the guitar and this um, soft singing by Tatiana in, I'm assuming it's Ukrainian. I think that's the word you use. And then it just gets brutal and heavy and crazy and it's awesome. And then Pausing Death and Noah was about the Bible. Those are pretty good. Home Back is really heavy, and the Prophecy, and then the Perennial Reprise. I just call it that because I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce perennial backwards. But yeah, I'm pleased with it. It's takes a few listens to really appreciate the musicianship and everything on it, but I'm weird like that, I guess. And yeah, I guess if you combine micro and macro, it's a full length. Well, it is a full length album already, but it's a really long album then if you combine those two. So for the concert, I drove almost 5 hours to see them, and I decided to get a VIP because I figured why not? They're still relatively small, and this place in St. Paul, Minnesota, is so tiny. They told me to get there by 5 for the VIP, and they were still doing a sound check. You could see them on the stage practicing, and Tatiana was wearing a mustache for some reason, but it was kind of funny. So then they checked us in, and they brought us down to this little bar downstairs where we waited, and um, we could hear them doing sound check, and then they were playing On the Top right above our heads, which was a treat. This, as this one guy said. And then they brought us up, and we met the band, and it was super quick. But they gave us a poster. Oh, there's my clock. There's a poster, and they signed it, and you got a picture with them. And I should show you the picture I got with them. But um, there was that, and they signed the poster, which I got framed now. It's not exact. Uh, it's kind of a weird measurement, so it doesn't fit in the thing exactly, and it's backwards now too. But there, Tatiana wrote "Booyah" as her signature, and then there's the tour dates below. But yeah, this is a pretty cool poster. I had to get it framed to preserve this stuff. Um, Meet and greet was pretty quick though. It was only probably I don't know, half a minute or a minute, just saying hi and taking a picture. And Eugene was the most friendly out of them all. I think his English might be the best um, of the 4 members because they were maybe they're just shy, but the other 3 were kind of reserved and held back. Um, but I told him I drove almost 5 hours, and he said something along the lines of, "That's what makes these shows great. It's the great people that come to see us," which I thought was really nice. And then here, let me find a picture for you. But yeah, um, this place was so small. The stage didn't even have a barrier. It was literally a 20-foot stage and no barrier. It was crazy. For the first bands, the drum set was literally 2 feet in front of the people's faces. It was crazy. So here's my picture with Jinjer. And there's all 4 of them. Eugene, Vlad, me, Tatiana, and Roman. I think that's the right names. But yeah, so that was really cool. I've never paid for VIP, but this was worth it, I think, because they're so incredible. They're honestly becoming one of my favorite bands. Quickly leapfrogging bands I've been listening to for years. This was a really cool experience, and um, afterwards, after the show, I got to grab a set list that they were handing out, and I got this frame too, and I put the little VIP laminate in there with it. So this will be on my wall for probably ever. But yeah, they opened with Teacher Teacher, and they played Sit Stay Rollover, Ape, Judgment Punishment, I Speak Astronomy, Dreadful Moments, Who Is Gonna Be the One, Retrospection, which I'm happy they did because that was really a really cool one off the album that wasn't a single. Perennial, which is my favorite, On the Top, Pit of Consciousness, Outlander, No Heart of Value, Cloud Factory, and then they took a break and they came back and played Pisces. And it says Captain Clock on the end of this thing, but they didn't play that. So I don't know if that's just kind of an optional thing. But yeah, this says Turf Club Minnesota and then the date. So I'm really happy with this show. This might be my favorite concert I've ever been to. And this was my 79th concert that I've been to ever. I have a list and I've been keeping track. I mean, really, it was incredible. They played for an hour and 20 minutes, I think. I think Tatiana might have been sick a little bit because she was coughing a little bit and looked like she was in pain sometimes, but I don't know. But I mean, you couldn't tell other than that because they were so on point with their music and their performance. Eugene was literally like a foot in front of me the whole show, and he's intense, man. He, the bass player, he was sweating. He was going so hard and playing so quickly that he was sweating. His guitar or his bass was just drenched in his own sweat, as was the floor around him. And I'm sure it was like that for the other guys too. But yeah, Eugene would stomp on the ground once in a while, and you could feel it. That's how close we were. He would stomp, and it would be loud, and it would kind of, scare you a little bit, but that was just part of the performance. So it was really cool. I got a shirt too from the VIP. It's just kind of basic. It's got Jinjer. Again, it's kind of hard to see when it's backwards like this, but here's the back. It says North America 2019, you've been gingerized. And there's got the cities. And then it says VIP on the sleeve, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm really glad I went. I had to go by myself because it sold out so quickly. Oh, again, this venue was so tiny that it only held 350 people. There's a guy who went there who also went to the Denver show, and he said that was probably 750 people. So they had to do some adjusting logistics wise. They said is one of what their tour people said to us when checking us in for VIP. But yeah, the openers were great. Sumo Psycho, I've been following for 5 years. I went and talked to them afterwards, and they were all really sweet and really nice. I got a picture with the singer, and they all signed a drumstick for me. So it was really cool. I'm really glad I went, even though I had to go alone. It was totally worth it. So yeah, I think this is my favorite concert of all time, which I never have picked before because I've seen so many. But I know this one's going to stand out because they're never going to come back and play at a venue so small again without a barricade that only holds 350 people. Yeah, it was cool meeting them. I know it's going to probably cost more for VIP in the future too, as they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, I got 3 souvenirs that will last forever from that show, plus all the videos and pictures I took, which I will I posted on Instagram, and I'll link down in the description for people to check out if you want. So yeah, they're quickly becoming one of my favorite bands behind Gojira. If they ever toured with Gojira, I don't know what I would do. I would go, obviously, if it came close, but I would probably go to that tour if it wasn't in my state in Minnesota or North Dakota, because they're so amazing and they're probably my favorite bands of all time right now. So this is getting to be a long video for me, but yeah, I'm really glad I went. It was a really cool experience. I recommend you guys check out the album if you haven't, and go see them live. Go support them. They're amazing. They're really quality people and amazing musicians. So that's my review for the album and the show in St. Paul. We'll see you guys next time for a reaction or even another review like this. I could do other reviews for albums that I just discovered or just came out. I know there's a lot of music that's came out this year for metal. So yeah, if you guys subscribe, I'll keep making music, take suggestions if you want. So we'll see you next time.